Hey, hey, welcome in. Welcome back, everybody. It's Laura from Tenacious Taurus Tarot and Astro Insights, and we're going to talk about these weekend energies. I was in meditation this morning, and I was shown this vision of mountains on the horizon with all of this green pasture and landscape in front of the mountains, and I was shown the sun rising behind the mountains, and what I kept hearing was a new day dawning. And so we've got some pretty interesting astrological energies playing out this weekend. We do have Venus retrograde in Aries in a conjunction to the sun, which is creating this profound, powerful energy called a cazimi. And so I feel we're at a very rare, potent moment within the collective of illumination of what really matters when it's connected to like the heart, self-worth, our values, relationships, right? Venus retrograde is about re-evaluating and restructuring relationship foundations. And so it is the energy of past lovers coming back. That's really prominent in these energies. And it is also this illumination, I feel, of whatever shadows were kind of hidden below the surface. They're kind of coming to light, especially with that sun energy dawning on the horizon of these mountains, which is an indication, I feel, of some type of challenge. But I want to say greener pastures are ahead. We just walked through the spring equinox portal yesterday. And so as we kind of stand in this present moment, I want to call it the present moment, we're kind of faced with a choice. That is what this energy brought forward to me, was this energy of a choice. And so in my third eye, I was shown the energy of the High Priestess merging with the Knight of Cups energy. And this really is a deep call, I feel, to trust our intuition. And so as we move forward, I want to say emotionally, we do need to trust our intuition, right? The High Priestess is whispering all of this energy of listen to that inner guidance, go within, trust that inner knowing, trust your sacred wisdom. And so I just feel the energies this weekend are really bringing forward a profound opportunity for real growth, renewal, empowerment. We're going to jump in with the Cosmic Journey Oracle cards. I'm going to shuffle these cards. We're going to talk about them. And then we're going to go deeper into the reading. Look at that on the bottom of the deck. It's been a while since I've used this deck. It's a 12 card. And so there is like a hanged man quality coming through. There's a hanged man quality. There's a shift in perspective. We kind of see the footprints, and it reminds me of footprints in the sand. It reminds me of this energy, I want to say, of Jesus consciousness, Christ consciousness. And the card does say, enter one step forward, one step onward. And with all of the yellow on the card, I do want to say this is signifying the energy of the solar plexus, taking back our power. I do think this is a time of listening deeply to our intuition, to see the full path ahead. I want to say to see the full path ahead. Now they're showing me the Empress with the Queen of Wands in reverse. And so there's a contrast here going on, I feel, connected to the Divine Feminine Collective. And you don't need to see the full path ahead. We just need to move forward emotionally, I feel. And so I don't know if maybe you've lost your sense of confidence, or maybe you feel like you've lost your sense of direction with all of the spirals on the card here. I just feel somebody here is being forced to trust some type of heartfelt action. And so this is also telling me, I feel, as we kind of go around the spiral, you might have to turn around. You might have to look back. You might have to go back and revisit some old emotions, revisit an old relationship, revisit an old pattern here before kind of boldly stepping into the dawning of a new cycle. So pretty interesting. Let's get a couple of these cards out. We're going to pull into a few tarot cards, and then I'm going to show you what we got on the table, and we are going to go in depth with these energies this weekend. So what is arising? What emotions might arise? What self-doubt needs to be faced? Look at that. I'm going to take it, and I love it. Welcome to the ascending age. Welcome to the next ascending age. Coming soon, we are walking into the age of Aquarius. It's an 8 card, and so there is a contrast coming through connected to, I want to say, Leo and Aquarius energy. And look at that, the bottom of the deck, it's a 3 card. There is an Empress energy coming through loud and clear in these weekend messages. So beautiful. We see the green pasture, we see the landscape. There could be a little hint of some mountains in the distance there, and the sun is rising on that horizon. And the card does state, allow your work to become your art. How appropriate, right? And so this really is, I want to say, a weekend of mastering the art of detachment. And then below, allow your work to become your art. I just feel this is the energy where the future and the past collide, and we get the ancestor card. And so I do feel this is a very strong ancestor message, and there's those mountains. And so we just went through that full moon in Virgo, the full moon, a total full moon eclipse, lunar eclipse. And a lot of people, I think, have been spiraling, working through the challenges within these eclipse portal energies. And so there is a 6 energy coming through. There is the energy of the lovers. And so I'm feeling prominent Gemini energy coming through, but there might still be one last challenge, one last hiccup to kind of get through, because we have one more eclipse we've got to work through in about a week's time, at the end of the week on Friday next week. And so there could be a challenge. There could be an unexpected choice between two. But what I want to say is you are perfectly imperfect just the way you are. And so this could be a challenge connected to self-worth and self-value. So keep that in mind. Maybe somebody here, I feel, is tapping into perhaps a new level of personal power. Yeah, we are. The 9 of coins on the bottom of the deck. The 9 of wands on the bottom of the deck. And the death card. And so this is a pretty profound rebirth. Sacral chakra energy. I'm using the Crystal Chakra Wisdom Tarot deck. 9 nines. There is a huge energy coming through of completion in the energies this week. We do have a wounded healer coming through. This is where I feel like the ancestor torch kind of gets passed on, and I do feel something coming full circle. And so we see all of these 9 of Pentacle energies in the mirror, in that mirroring energy. And so there could be a mirror soul connection here. I do feel that has triggered a lot of expansion, a lot of growth. And then the death card is the energy of renewal, is the energy of rebirth. And this is connected to the higher chakra pathway, to the third eye and the crown. And so 13, and we kind of see the shadow of a past, I feel, a past person of maybe who you used to be before you kind of step into empowerment, the energy of looking back. So what is this all about? Because I do feel somebody here is ascending. I do feel somebody here could be stepping into just owning it all with that 9 of coins coming through. Let's get a few of these cards out. And what is this energy coming through this weekend? We get the King of Swords. So we get Gemini, Libra, Aquarius energy. We get the 4 of coins. And so I want to say somebody really has withheld or held back communication, or even has withheld a certain truth on their heart. There is a huge revisiting energy coming through, because we got that Lovers card. And so I do feel somebody has really hidden their emotions connected to a deep soulmate situation here. And we got that Ace of Coins. So let me show you these cards, guys. We are going to dig deep. We are going to talk about these energies, because I do feel there is a moment in time where something big is being made manifest. I do feel it's time to kind of plant that seed to move forward. Maybe there is a 7-year cycle here, an 8-year cycle. And I do want to mention that this Venus retrograde, Venus is starting a brand new 8-year cycle. Venus is closing out an 8-year cycle from the past, and this is the year where we plant that seed for something new. And so what I want to say is work through your fears, work through your doubts, trust that there is an opportunity coming, but there is a need to clear and lay down a burden connected to some type of abandonment wound or some type of past betrayal, before we can go forward into some type of union. And I do think there's some type of toxic pattern here that needs to be released. There could be a lot of nostalgia, a lot of reminiscing, a lot of clearing of some past wounding and nostalgia. And then we get the Empress. And so I think get ready for a new collaboration. Get ready for a brand new cycle here. And this is leading you straight towards wish fulfillment. So let me get you these cards. Let me show you what I've got on the table, and let's go deep into this message. Collectively, we are at a very powerful turning point. Not only collectively, I want to say, but individually, right? We're all being called to step forward into a new level of consciousness, right? That's what this card represents. Let's go break it back to that first oracle card that emerged. And so it does say coming soon. Welcome to the next ascending age. And this is the golden age of Aquarius, right? Not the silver age, the golden age. And so right now we're kind of marking our place with closing out, I want to say, a grand karmic cycle. So we go through this cycle every 26,000 years. We go through this evolutionary journey. And now we're stepping out. I want to say we're stepping out of the descending age. And we are stepping into a new era, right? With Pluto now grounded in Aquarius, we're going through revelations, we're going through expansion, we're tapping into this higher ascension wisdom. And the ancient prophecies spoke about this at a time, right? Where the veils would lift and humanity would begin to remember its true nature, unlocking all of our dormant gifts, right? And so I had my ascension journey and my Kundalini awakening back in 2019, and there are several waves of this ascension taking place within the collective. And so this really does tie beautifully into the sun in Aries conjunct Venus in retrograde. I tried to combine Venus and Aries together, but this cosmic cazimi moment, I want to say, is really illuminating our values, our relationships, and the ways we are choosing to step into alignment with our divinity, with our divine role, with our spirituality, and with the sun sextile Pluto in Aquarius. I really do feel this is reinforcing that, right? It's reinforcing that. It's reminding us all that transformation is definitely inevitable. And we must kind of embrace this call to uncover our purpose, right? We all have a purpose. And maybe the purpose in itself is just living life aligned to the present moment. And we are all here to embrace growth and evolution, right? And so there's like a story unfolding, I want to say, this weekend connected to evolution. And so we go to the second oracle card, and this is asking us to allow our work to become our art, which is a direct message I feel speaking very closely to my heart. It is a message I feel very much linked to the divine feminine energy, and we all have inner masculine and feminine energies. And so this is a call to create, right? The Empress is a creator. She brings beauty into the world with intention. And this is a message I feel of a sacred purpose, right? We all have a sacred purpose we need to bring forward into everything we create, whatever that is, big or small, right? And so I do feel the Divine Feminine Collective is being asked to birth a new reality, a reality of healing. We see the stars on the card. One that I want to say is deeply aligned with the wisdom of the soul's calling. And so remember at the bottom of the deck, guys, we had that ancestor card come through. And so with it connected to the numerology number 6, it does represent balance. It represents harmony. It represents the connection, I want to say, between the past and the future, right? And so the past, the present, and the future, a triple alignment going on here. And so this really is a reminder that we never walk the path alone. We always have our spirit guides and our ancestors walking with us. We always have the wisdom of those that came before us, and it's kind of woven, and it's woven into our DNA. There's no denying that, right? And so we all have spirit guides that we work with to help us reclaim our sovereignty, to face the challenges of the physical reality as we reconnect with our cosmic ancestry, to step into the next phase of our evolution, right? And so right now I feel the divine feminine is in a portal of rebirth and resilience, because now we're going to bring it back to the spread on the table here. And I did form a 9-card spread. I haven't done a 9-card spread like this in a while, but how this kind of works for me, we get like recent past, present energy, near future, recent past, present energy, near future, and I kind of tie it all in to this central energy here of the 4 of coins, right? And so what I feel with this top row And I do feel this is connected to the divine feminine rebirth with the Nine of Wands to the Nine of Coins. The Nine of Coins for me is that pre-Empress energy. And so there is what I want to say is a rebirth unfolding for the divine feminine collective, right? And that's definitely reflected in this Nine of Wands energy, right? The Nine of Wands, the Nine of Pentacles, and the Death card. And so this speaks of perseverance, right? This definitely speaks of perseverance. This speaks of like, this has been a long, long battle, I feel, for the feminine, of going into the wounds, healing the wounds, becoming that wounded warrior, becoming that wounded healer. And we see all of the fire elements there. Wands are fire, right? And we do have that Venus retrograde. And so I feel we're in that last cleanup of the battle of the transformation process. You are on the verge of transforming out of these old cycles. And I feel the Nine of Pentacles here is really speaking of self-mastery, right? It's in between the two. And so you're on the precipice of self-mastery. And I do want to remind you, like, this is also a card of abundance. And so I do feel you've been on a mirror soul journey to teach you independence, to teach you your worth, to teach you your value. And I feel right now the divine feminine is stepping into a cycle of personal power, personal evolution here. And the Death card, I want to say, for the divine feminine is a reminder that we are at the end of a significant cycle. So maybe where at one point in time you held back, or where you were even once held back from going forward on your mission, that's all kind of fading away, and we're kind of making space for a massive renewal, right? And so I feel the divine feminine right now in these energies is being reborn. I think she's being reborn with her strength and her wisdom. And what I heard was divine worth, understanding your divine worth. And so this really is, I want to say, a moment for the feminine of stepping into true self-sovereignty, and you're kind of breaking the shackles from the past. And it kind of ties in to these cards here, but we're going to get to those. We're going to talk about this middle row first, right? Because this middle row, we've got the divine masculine energy coming through, I feel here, with the King of Swords. And then the central energy, the Four of Coins, connected both to the masculine and feminine, because we see the Nine of Coins also touching this card. And so this is central to both of them, but we're going to talk about the energies coming through connected to the divine masculine first, right? And so right now I feel the divine masculine collective is moving through a critical moment of decision and truth. And this is what we're kind of seeing here in this combination with the King of Swords, the Four of Pentacles, and the Lovers card. And so this, I feel, this guy, this masculine energy, he's been coming out reversed, upright. He's been coming through quite a bit in the readings over the last few days for me. And so this, I feel, is a big call for clarity regardless, right? The King of Swords is a call for integrity. It's a call for courage to speak one's truth. And I do feel this has been held back, right? It's been held back, whether out of fear, control, or uncertainty. The truth has been held back. And so right now I feel this weekend, the divine masculine is being presented with a choice, right? The Lovers is always a choice between two. And so I think the big question is will the divine masculine step forward? Will he release his fears, and will he reclaim his heart's true desires, which usually is connected to that union with the divine counterpart, right? And so this weekend's energy really holds a big energy, I want to say, of divine revelation, divine truth, pushing the masculine through this resistance process, I feel, through the resistance of the transformation. So he can embrace this path, right? Because it's calling him, the heart is calling him, but he's got that heart on lockdown, right? He's been really holding that in and not really living through the heart center. He's been living through earthly material pleasures is really what I want to say there, right? And so the bottom row is pretty loud and clear for me about past burdens and betrayals needing to be released, with the Five of Coins, the Ten of Wands to the Ten of Swords, right? And so we all know what that Five of Coins means. This is the weight of an abandonment wound, right? This is the weight of rejection, and it is connected to inner child. We see the grown woman to the child card, and so we all have that little inner child within us that says, pick me. I would like to be chosen. And so the feminine maybe at one point in time could have been a pick me girl, and now she's like, no, no, I'm the prize, and if you don't pick me, then you're the loser, right? I'm not calling anybody a loser here, but that's just what's coming through. But I do feel healing the weight of those abandonment and rejection wounds and loss and lack mentality. And the 10 of Wands to the 10 of Swords is representing like this very heavy burden that carries with it some pretty painful past energies of betrayal. And maybe there's been a little bit of a refusal to let that go, holding on to it, right? The 10 of Swords is like the ultimate ending, the ultimate backstabbing, the ultimate betrayal, suffering, and releasing a cycle that no longer serves, right? Because 10s are completions, 10s are endings. And so a lot of us have held on to this 5 of Pentacles for a while when it comes to the weight of the past betrayal, whether it was with the counterpart or just past relationship betrayals in general. And so this really is carrying a message, I feel, of release, right? Release, forgiveness, stepping into that new dawn energy that I felt in that meditation, that I was shown in the meditation. And so let's talk about this central energy here, because the 4 of Pentacles can represent a lot of things. You can see he's holding on tight to those 4 Pentacles. And so what are you holding on to? Because this sits at the center of the reading. This card is the central energy where I feel the divine feminine and the divine masculine are being asked to look at what they're clinging to. What are you clinging to? What are you holding on to? Is it fear? Is it resistance to change? Is it protecting your heart because of the past wounds? And so we've got the 4. It's like the masculine is connected to this 4 of Coins between the King of Swords and the Lovers, which is like a withholding of making a decision. And the feminine is connected to the 4 of Coins between the 9 of Coins and the 10 of Wands. And so I do feel there needs to be a release of the past wounds. There needs to be a step into sovereignty for the feminine, so we can open up the energy of flow again in this connection, right? So we can cling to the old. We can do that most certainly, but we're ascending that descending age, right? We're supposed to be ascending that descending age. And so really, I feel this entire portion of the reading is talking about a threshold moment, right? Where the masculine must decide, is he going to hold on to the old cycle? Is he going to make a choice that opens up the pathway of healing, this connection? Because I do think there's almost this haunting of the past, right? It's like there's the picture in his mind of this connection playing over and over, I want to say, on repeat. And will the feminine allow the old wounds to kind of fall away, the old stories to fall away? Because there is a new day dawning. That is for sure, without a doubt. And so really the choice is about, are you going to be willing to step forward? And the choice is always ours, right? We all have that free will. And so this weekend, I feel, is asking the counterparts to embrace the rebirth process, to embrace the truth. And the time really is now. The time really is now. And so I do feel there's some blocks. I do feel there's some blocks to union. And that is definitely connected to these cards here. It's connected to these cards here. So we got the 6 of Cups. We got the Devil card, and we've got the 4 of Wands, because there's that union, but there's that block to this union, right? The 6 of Cups can often represent reconciliation, reunion, but there's a block here. The block is the Devil. The block is the Devil card, and so I do feel that's what kind of sits between the promise of this union, right? There's this soulmate energy, there's nostalgia, there's this promise of union, but the Devil sits smack dab in the middle, which I feel is kind of illuminating that there's some type of shadow energy, the shadow, right? You see the shadow still lingering in this connection. And it can go both ways. And so the shadow can represent the inner child wounds, the karmic cycles of the past memories, or an old pattern, right? Because the 6 of Cups can often represent patterns. At the same time, this does speak of a deep spiritual connection, but there could be an attachment here to an old version of what you thought love was supposed to be, connected to childhood wound, divine feminine. And so what I feel here is there's a release of something that no longer serves your journey. And this really is an amplification energy of all of the fears, the addictions, the toxic cycles, the limiting beliefs that hold back that spiritual union. This is where control comes into play. This is where codependencies come into play. This is also where the devil whispers, hey, stay in that comfort zone. You're safe. Stay here, even though you know it's uncomfortable. We call it that comfort zone, but comfort is really very uncomfortable. The devil's saying, stay here where it's safe. Stay here where you know what's going on. But that's an illusion, right? There's an illusion connected to the devil that we have to shatter before we can manifest that true union. And so there is union, there is celebration. The twin flames hold a very sacred foundation of energies here, but it's being blocked by the devil. So something here can't fully materialize in the physical until the chains of fear, illusion, and these past wounds are kind of broken, right? And so that really is what I feel is the message of the block. And so I feel in order to kind of open up the pathway to union here, there is a need to recognize where inner child wounds are still creating pain from the past and dictating your present choices. And I think that's a message for both of the counterparts. There is a need to let go of nostalgia for what was, right? Because what was doesn't exist anymore. We do have to get to a point on the journey where we make peace with what is. And we do got to break free from those toxic patterns, right? Whether it is fear of abandonment, avoidance, self-sabotage, addictions. The devil energy needs to be faced head on because it's sneaking up behind somebody here before we can have that new beginning in love, right? She's holding that Ace of Cups. And so it is the energy I want to say of like burning up or burning through the karma. And that all has to take place before we can rebuild this foundation on authenticity, right? That's the goal. The Four of Wands is the goal, but it can't be built on illusions. It can't be built on inauthentic energies at all whatsoever, because true intimate union requires transparency and trust and surrender, right? And so I just feel what the divine feminine doesn't see coming. Now let's talk about this string of cards that fell out. What the divine feminine does not see coming here. We got the Empress card, right? We got the Empress card. We got this Three of Coins that came out. And we've got this 10 of Cups. And so this is what you don't see coming, sneaking up behind you. This is what is really incredible. I feel something really incredible here is aligning for the divine feminine. And I do feel it's an alignment of abundance, harmony, soul fulfillment. I think soul fulfillment beyond your wildest imagination. I want to say divine feminine. So the energy is fertile for creation. This is the divine feminine stepping into her divine embodiment, stepping into her full radiant essence. Even if you don't see it in the physical, even if you don't see the results yet, this is what is happening, right? And the Three of Coins is a huge signifier of collaboration, divine support. Maybe it's collaboration with a couple of other divine feminines in your local area, people that really are in alignment with your purpose. And this is also a reminder, you're never alone, divine feminine, right? You've got spirit, you've got your ancestors, right? You got your ancestors, you've got people in the physical world all around you, even if it's not your divine masculine counterpart, right? In the physical, he's still with you, whether you realize it or not, working behind the scenes as well, working to build this foundation for union, I feel, right? And so we kind of got to do this a little bit in separation before coming back together. But ultimately, we got this 10 of Cups here. And so this is what you don't see. There is emotional fulfillment here. There is a deep soul connection here. There is a dream, I want to say, becoming a reality, because the Nine of Cups is the dream. The Nine of Cups is the dream. And so even if things don't feel like they're aligning, true happiness and completion is happening, and it is happening in divine timing. And I know a lot of people don't like to hear divine timing, because divine timing really is at play here. And so if we look at all of the yellow on the cards, we see the heart chakra center, we see the solar plexus energies coming through. And so there is a need, I feel, Divine Feminine, this message has come out quite a bit. To be open to fully trusting and receiving and allowing this love to come in. Are you actually open to fully receiving this love? Because if you have lingering wounds from the past that have been unacknowledged, that really is like the block or the shield actually against receiving love. And so the solar plexus energy in this string of cards is asking you to tap into your confidence, your worthiness, and to stand in your divine power and to trust that this creative energy is flowing around you. But you also need to know your worth, you need to know your value, and you need to step into your creative efforts that are going to lead you to a lot of profound abundance here, right? And then we got on the bottom of the deck, I got to show you here, we got the 10 of coins. And so there is an old pattern here that needs to be looked at, because below the 10 of coins, we get the 8 of swords. And so this is connected to the root chakra, which is where we hold all of our insecurities, all of our security fears, our abandonment wounds, right? And so there's a need to break free. And so that's what this twin soul connection mirrors back to us, is the blocks we need to move on from, right? With the Chariot card, so Cancer energy, and then the Tower. And so there is going to be unexpected movement, I want to say, this weekend in the energies. But this, I feel, is really highlighting the ultimate legacy here, the ultimate long-term stability that divine union provides in the physical when the twins do come together in the physical. And so I just want to remind you all, this is not about romance. A twin soul connection is not about abusive behaviors. It's not toxic. It's not abusive. It doesn't abuse you physically, mentally, or emotionally. A twin soul union is not just about romance. It is about building something long lasting. It is about something that is meant to stand the test of time. If you find yourself going back in a relationship with somebody where there's been abuse, there's been harsh words, that is not twin flame. That is karmic. I just want to make that very clear. There is twin flame union here that is meant to be destined, but the old karmic cycles must go away. This is not just a journey about love. This is a journey about breaking the cycles, breaking the trauma cycles, the trauma bonds, the cycles of the past. This is about laying a new foundation. This is about laying a sacred foundation, right? And so the divine feminine has to rise, and I do think she is rising, but you might not see the results yet of the rise, but you are attracting abundance. You are attracting long-term stability and the divine partnership that you desire, even if it's not going to be the manifestation of the person that you believe is the counterpart. So keep that in mind. Your soulmate might not be who you think it is. You got to trust in the timing, divine feminine. You've got to trust that everything aligns in perfect timing. And so I just feel there's like huge, immense potential for breakthrough this weekend, for transformation. I do think the blocks are really starting to be revealed so they can be cleared once and for all. The divine feminine, I think you're just being called to trust that your hard work is paying off. Keep doing the work. Keep manifesting abundance. Keep manifesting love. Keep doing that real deep dive into what needs to be cleared to align with your soul's higher calling, and trust that it's on the way. Let go of the past. We can't live in the past anymore. We have to open up our heart. We have to move forward. We have to stand in our power. And then we're going to close it off with these two cards. If you remember these two cards that come out, we get the Ace of Coins to the Seven of Coins. And I just feel this is an energy of harvest. This is an energy of, investing, waiting, nurturing something over time, nurturing the inner growth journey, nurturing healing, and trusting the process, even when everything is slow to trot, I want to say. And so the Ace of Coins is a manifestation. This is a manifestation card. This is like a physical reward. And you see the feminine on the card. Are you worthy of receiving? Do you need to work through worthiness blocks about receiving a reward or something tangible in the physical? This is a new beginning. This is proof that the seeds that you have planted are finally breaking through the surface. The work that you've invested is finally paying off. And so I feel this weekend really is about standing at the threshold of the brand new cycle. There's energetic shifts, there's breakthroughs, there's deep soul work. And all of this is leading to something real, tangible, stable, and long lasting. And so I just feel the big takeaway is a new day is dawning, right? There's karmic cycles closing. The past can no longer control us. The chains of the old wounds and betrayals, we need to break free from them, right? I do feel the divine masculine collective is awakening, but they have to choose to make a decision. They have to choose to speak up. They have to choose to release fear-based control. And divine feminine, you just got to keep standing in your power. You've got to keep trusting. You've got to keep your heart open. You've got to stay aligned to your higher calling, to your higher self and your higher path. And you've got to trust that this new day is dawning, and trust it, right? Because you're ready to receive it. It's already yours. The union, the abundance, it's already yours. So if you would like to go further with me with the twin flame reading or twin flame coaching, please feel free to check out the links below. I would love to get that booked in for you. Please also feel free to check out the membership side of the channel. I do go live every Thursday at noon Eastern Standard Time, and we pull into all 12 zodiacs. It's just a fun, interactive place to be at without any trolls in the comment section. But let me know down below if this message resonated with you, and I will see you all next time.